Hey folks, I'm here competing in an absolute division. You can see right there what's going on in the bottom. Tommy Jones, advanced no-gi absolute division. This was a very small tournament, submission only. It was Orlando, Florida, and there just wasn't a giant turnout. And so um, I'm one of the owners of US Grappling. I was asked to jump out there, or I don't know if I was asked or if I just said, hey, let's give these people matches. And you can see my opponent appeared to adjust my rash guard there because it looked like it was coming off, and that was really nice of him. Uh, you know, a lot of people think of going into competition as going to war. I've always sort of thought of it as um, kind of having some fun. Certainly, the younger I was, the more I was very focused on just winning and kind of dominating. But I'll start talking about some of the things that are going on in the match now here. I'm swimming for an overhook there. You can sort of see I was setting it up, looking for an overhook wrist control triangle. It's tough to get from closed guard, and of course, this is the absolute division, so my opponent here is a hair heavier than me. Very strong, very difficult to move. So I sort of settled in with a butterfly guard overhook. Very difficult to sweep a giant person from butterfly guard, but it can be done if your timing is right and if the base is compromised well enough. And I was a little out in front of that. I should have probably been a little more patient there. So I ended up back in the closed guard, sort of hanging out with this guy. And I wasn't in a big hurry. It's submission only, taking my time. I think maybe he felt the same way. You can see neither of us is exactly frantically moving around, you know. I'm looking to sit up, maybe set up a hip bump sweep. I like to do it from the closed guard if I can because there's no risk. And of course, I grab the Kimura here, try to go after that. But you can see I'm down here on my side. This is not a great place to go for this sort of Kimura. I have a lot of different things that I do differently now, and I would feel a lot better going for this nowadays. For one thing, you can sort of bail from the closed guard and initiate a turtle from there. But there are other things that you can do to make this work. But this is like 8 or 9 years ago, and I was still developing my system that I like to use today. But you can see from the manliness of my arms that I was eating a lot of protein back then. And so I got that Kimura out of the way, and I'm looking to finish it. My opponent is pretty strong, though. And by pretty strong, I mean considerably stronger than me. Uh, Looks like the video maybe skipped a little bit here, but I'm going to skip ahead just a bit to see. Oh, I magically appeared on his back. Just kidding. I'm looking for the Kimura again. And of course, I climb over his back. And so his head's sort of in the way right now. But if I can let go of the Kimura, if I could just let it go and come around or loop my armpit around, I could get on his back. I didn't want to do that, though, because I wanted to keep that hook on the far side with my arm, sort of like the first harness or seatbelt grip. And so instead, I end up underneath, but I'm off at a pretty good angle here. Anytime you can get perpendicular to somebody from the guard, you have a good opportunity to attack. He was able to shut that down pretty well, though. Thinking about it again, and he does a good job of blocking me down, smashing me back down with his hand, controlling the inside bicep, and my guard comes open. No problem there. Open guard, closed guard, it's all good. Sometimes you have to open up to make some things happen. You can see me playing a little bit of a butterfly guard. I shouldn't be flat playing butterfly guard like this, though. That's a little dangerous. But at the same time, I think I wanted to kind of make some things happen here, get him to open up just a little bit. There's that overhook wrist control triangle set up, but you can see he's kind of powering up, doing a good job of anticipating where I'm going. Really, after that Kimura, he uses the opportunity to pass. This is an interesting scenario because the arm is away from the body here, and against a mortal human of my size, I think I would be in pretty good shape here to just roll him over, get on top, and then maybe finish a side control Kimura. But I seem to be having a hard time of getting him to go, so I start curling it up towards his back, kind of like a come along. If I can get his wrist close to his shoulder blades, I can get a submission, and that forces him to roll. So that was actually a pretty good adjustment. And you can see me kind of taking my time with the Kimura, circling around, looking to either go belly down with it or north-south. But you can see my leg. He's kind of hooking his arm there and trapping it too. I lost the position though, and he's really big, and I wasn't doing a great job of treating him like he was much, much bigger than me and respecting his size, so I lost the position. No big surprise there. You see the legendary Mike Bird in the background refereeing. You can sort of see how quiet the tournament was at this point. It was a pretty slow show. Here I'm looking to pass the half guard. I've got a hook. I've used a hip switch method to get the leg open. Hip switch is an all-time favorite of mine. I've been using that consistently since blue belt, so like 20 years plus now. I got the arm away from the body. I'm looking for that probably straight arm Kimura. Used to call it the Big Bird finish. And I'm straightening the arm, and here it is. It's pretty close, but I mean, what I should be doing if I want to actually do this on a bigger person is putting my stomach on top of his shoulder. And instead of I'm letting him lift me up a little bit with the back area, I really should be sliding and pinning his shoulder with my stomach. It's all about shoulder control there. And I sort of lost that position a lot there. That was way too hasty on my end. And I end up with this kind of like sideways smashy guard that Daniel Frank actually likes to play, and I don't especially like to play, especially didn't back then. Here I am hugging from the bottom of butterfly guard, so everything's okay. No harm, no foul. Keeping the posture under control, but also looking to underhook. Kind of an interesting grip. Maybe I can take the back here, snaking out to the side. And coming out the back, but I come out the back with a body lock, and that's probably not going to work too well against this guy. Probably not a great move, and I think I realized that almost immediately. So here I am. You can sort of see a little bit better the size discrepancy. You know, I wasn't kidding. I was eating a lot of protein back then. I was probably 175 walking weight. I guess my opponent was slightly larger than 175 at this point. You can sort of see the difference in size there, but I was strong, and that's a nice takedown. I'm going to back that up just a sec. What I'm looking to do is hit a quick arm drag, inside trip, ko uchimaki komi, and I backed it up just a little too far, but here it comes. Here it comes. Wrist control, arm, boom, inside. So pretty good takedown. Make sure to switch to the underhook versus the classic judo version of that. So it's sort of a wrestling-based, wrestling-inspired move. Really high percentage takedown that I like. I teach all the time to the students at Revolution BJJ. And I'm looking to pass again with that hip switch. My base wasn't right there, but I didn't mind too much. I'm playing a little Sakuraba here. I really don't want to get picked up, though, so I'm thinking about making a hook on that far leg. Hooking here would have been a little risky, though. I still could have gotten chucked. I should have been grabbing his leg self-defense style from the outside. And being taken down there, I didn't mind too much. I still had the Kimura. I felt the takedown coming. It was easy to anticipate. Playing from the outside with my legs. So kind of another unique position in this match. Another thing about the Kimura, you know, just playfully experimenting, kind of enjoying it. I did feel there was something of an experience and skill discrepancy between me and my partner, my opponent here. And so, you know, I felt it was a good opportunity to work on some stuff. Kimura wasn't working, so the back was right there. That was a pretty simple transition. Climbing up on top, taking the back. And I can think I'm trying to set up the armbar here, just kind of coming off to the side. Kimura armbar from the back, a classic move that I would do. Thinking about choking, but that's only going to be there if it's very obvious for me. Set up the armbar, messed up a couple of details. I should have had that far leg across, hooking the hip on the far side. So I did manage to get it set up, though. I set up a pocket grip here as opposed to a Kimura grip. Pocket grip means I can post with this free hand, my right hand. I lean toward his hips. I can also grab myself, and I grab his legs to move myself down there, taking advantage of the pocket. And I can also, I'm looking to do a palm strike, and there it is. And the palm strike grip break is a good one. And My opponent did not want to tap right away, so made sure to get the arm fully straightened out, made sure to get it locked out, but careful enough so that remember this is a game. This isn't a combat art. Beg your pardon, it's a combat art, but this isn't war. We're not going to war here. So I hope you guys enjoyed. That was a fun one.